Hi, I am Beth Fisher. I am the founder of Healing Families and the creator of the Betrayal Trauma Healing Method. I get this question a lot, which is, how do I know when it's time to give up on my marriage? Now, there's no clear-cut answer to this. There's no, A, B, C, D, and then you have to go. But there certainly are guidelines. And if there are certain things still happening in your relationship and both people say they want to reconcile, but you're still seeing some of these signs, then that's going to be a good indication that it's probably time to go. So let's start off with the first thing I ask people when they ask me this question. So if I'm talking to a betrayed partner and we're talking about the unfaithful partner, right? So I'll ask the betrayed partner, is your spouse still acting out in any way? If the answer is yes, it's time to go. It's time to go, or it's time to put a really strong boundary in place to say this must end by this date or I'm leaving. Because you can't have a third person in a relationship, especially in a relationship that's trying to reconcile after betrayal. You cannot have a third person. And let me tell you this, when I say third person, I don't mean literally. Sometimes it's actually a person and a fair partner, but it could be pornography. It could be a substance. It could be alcohol. Those are third entities inside of a relationship. In order to build a really healthy marriage on the other side of betrayal, both people need to become what I call independently healthy. You're not independently healthy if you're watching porn. You're not independently healthy if you're addicted to some sort of a drug or alcohol. That's not healthy. So you're not going to build a healthy relationship on the other side of betrayal if that third entity is still a part of the relationship. Okay. The next thing is your spouse taking full responsibility, full accountability for the choices that they made. And this is what I mean by that. In one of the courses that I taught, it's called What's My Why? It's an online course now, but I help unfaithful partners go really deep into uncovering the core why, WHY, the core why, the root cause of why they did whatever it is that they did. Because most of the time, what happens is the unfaithful partners are saying things like we, our, us, you, they, him, her. They're using all of these external pronouns to excuse away why they did what they did. Taking full responsibility for actions that the unfaithful partner took only has one pronoun, and it's I. I made these choices. I did these things. I'm the one who lied, and there's no excuses. There's no justification. Now, if you're an unfaithful partner hearing me talk right now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, things weren't great in my marriage, Beth. Yeah, I know, I get it. But those are symptoms. That's not the disease. And we can help you uncover the disease, get underneath it. Because no matter how bad a marriage was, cheating is a choice. Acting out is a choice. Watching pornography is a choice. And unfaithful partners need to take full responsibility for those choices and stop staying in what I call the land of excuses. We, you, us, our. Those all lead to excuses. Unfaithful partners need to take full responsibility. I made these choices. So if your partner is not taking, if you're the betrayed and your partner is not taking full responsibility, then it might be time to go. But here's the next thing. Most of the time, the unfaithful partners have no clue that there's something underneath this. So what's the next thing that I say you need to have in place, or maybe it's time to leave? individual therapy. And individual therapy really for both partners, because both people are experiencing huge traumas for very different reasons. Okay. And this isn't to compare traumas, but we have to be honest. Getting found out by the unfaithful partner, they're going into their own state of survival mode. Their double life has now been uncovered. So they are experiencing dysregulation in their nervous systems. They need individual therapy to walk them through that, to learn how to manage that. And they need that individual therapy in order to get to the core why, the root cause. In order for them to get that I, take full responsibility, they've got to do the therapy in order to uncover that. It's not just going to happen to them like, some aha moment. Oh, I cheated because I fill in the blank. This is where their work comes into play. So if you're a betrayed partner listening to this and your spouse is refusing to go to individual therapy to figure this out, it might be time to leave, because if they don't uncover this, if they don't get to their root cause, if they don't get to their why, then they can't detach from whatever it is. We cannot change what we're not aware of. And that's why so many people end up being repeat offenders. Oh, maybe they'll stop for a while, but then it starts back up again. They stop watching porn for a while, but then it sneaks back in again because they never figured out the root cause. That's what we help unfaithful partners do. Get to that root cause so that we can detach from it, so that we can become aware of it, understand it, detach from it, and then build a healthy life on the other side of it. But if unfaithful partners aren't told that there's something deeper underneath this, and if they're not working with a professional who really understands it, then it's going to get missed. And that won't lead to a good outcome. So, individual therapy. And then here's the last thing I'll say to look for if you're a betrayed partner. Are they supporting you when you're upset, when you're in pain, when you're trying to release some of that dysregulation in your nervous system? Are they supportive? Do they go into the fire? That's what I teach them. Do they go into the fire, or do they get angry and defensive and blame you and tell you this is your problem? You need to get over this. You need to move on. Come on, it's been 3 years already. You need to forget about this. If any of those things are being said, you are not going to come out of survival mode. I teach survival mode, creative mode, dysregulation in the nervous system. I teach all of that in my webinars. So if you haven't been to a webinar of mine, register. You're going to learn a lot in 2 hours. If your spouse is not leaning in, that means that they don't understand betrayal trauma, and they need a quick lesson on betrayal trauma. Because saying things like, you need to move on, you need to get over this, that's trauma stacking. It's adding more trauma onto the trauma that's already there from the discovery of the betrayal. And every time the betrayed partner hears, you need to move on, you need to move on, it's stacking more trauma in the body. So those are just some quick things to ask yourself, are these happening in my relationship? Because if they're not, it might be time to move on. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Again, I am Beth Fisher, founder of Healing Families and the creator of the Betrayal Trauma Healing Method. Thank you so much for watching.